Oh, the hypocrisy. Oh my goodness. So every once in a while, we get a glimmer of truth that fights its way through, that claws its way out of like the deep recesses of Fox News. And in this clip, we have exactly that, where we have a Fox News contributor, Marie Harf is her name, and they're talking about all the crime that's going on in DC. And one such criminal activity that was recorded was Sandwich Guy, okay? So Subway Guy. And for those of you who may not be aware of what happened, you had a dude who had a Subway sandwich and threw it. It's not funny, but it kind of is. Because he ruined a perfectly good sandwich. You could have given that to the homeless or something. But he threw the sandwich at an officer, right? A CBM, Customs Border and, protection officer. And he threw it at him and then started running. And I don't know if that's as fast as this man can run. Cause I feel like he wanted to get caught based off of his running. Cause I'm like, bro, you can definitely run faster than that, right? But anyways, he threw the sandwich, salami. I'm guessing it's salami sandwich. I don't know what was in it. But, bread and everything goes. He runs and they catch him. And apparently they make a big deal out of, we're going to get the crime that's going on here, and that's not going to happen anymore. Okay, brother?
So President Trump has vowed to make D.C. safe and beautiful again. If you spit, we hit. Well, we didn't quite do that the other night when an individual went up to one of the federal law enforcement officers and started jumping up and down, screaming at him, berating him, yelling at him. And then he took a Subway sandwich about this big and took it and threw it at the officer. He thought it was funny. Well, he doesn't think it's funny today because we charged him with a felony, assault on a police officer. And we're going to back the police to the hilt. So there. Stick your Subway sandwich somewhere else.
Ugh. Brother, ugh.
And so they're discussing this on Fox News. And you have this woman who calls out the glaring hypocrisy. Okay, this is something how I don't understand how people watch Fox News. Like, if you have any shred of integrity, it would absolutely irk you to the utmost degree, hearing them screaming and crying about an officer that was assaulted by a Subway sandwich. If you don't miss me with this nonsense, y'all were praising, what's his name? The dude that yeeted the black guy on the subway, all right, for not any type of physical violence, for words. They have constantly been praising black people, getting yeeted, because, black people bad. That's the mindset. As I've said before, Neanderthal mindset. Black people bad, white people good. They're constantly doing this, all right? But what she brings up is January 6th, where officers were assaulted. You had an officer who died. We had people who perished on that day. Yeah, Ashley Babbitt, even though she was dumb. But you have these individuals that they are trying to say that, oh my God, look at him assaulting officers, with a sandwich. This is what the left wants. And she calls out the hypocrisy, where it's like, you can't tell me that you care about police when you all completely pardon the people who assaulted the officers.
It is very rich to say we are going to charge the sandwich thrower with a felony. When I was there on January 6th, and all of those people that assaulted police officers got pardoned.
Congregation, I said, can I get an amen?
Yeah. Not just the nonviolent ones, not just the ones that went into the Capitol. Everyone, including the ones that went after police officers, got pardoned.
Someone cooked here.
So don't tell me we care, that this administration cares about protecting police officers when they did not care about those on January 6th.
And to add on top of this, they wanted to celebrate Kyle Rittenhouse, right? And make jokes about, oh, he killed, a child offender, right? But at the same time, Trump pardoned child offenders. He pardoned rapists. He pardoned domestic violent individuals. He pardoned these monsters. Just a blanket pardon for all these criminals. So when you want to talk about, oh, we care about back the blue and all this, she's saying you can't do that, Brett. You're being obvious hypocrites. Now, they didn't like that because they're like, well, can we talk about D.C. here? We're talking about D.C. here, okay? We're not talking about January 6th.
Respectfully, can we just stay?
But they got pardoned. No, those were police officers, Emily, and they got
I
pardoned.
want to talk about D.C. for a second.
But that was in D.C. That was in D.C. Those were D.C. police officers.
Can I just start with the fact checking?
And that's what they want to do, bruh. They want to just completely put all their evil crimes, all their lineage of evil. Well, let's not talk about it. Let's sweep that under the rug. Better yet, let's pretend like it didn't even happen. It was a tourist attraction. So it's this doublespeak that would be irksome, as I said, to anyone who has a shred of integrity. For them to try and cry like it's the end of the world because an officer got hit by a sandwich, which they're now charging him with felony assault. With felony assault. Lord in heaven. And they're trying to say, oh, look at this. Look at the crime that's going on. When we saw how they cared about law enforcement, we see how they care now about law enforcement. Do you understand the number one killer of law enforcement? It's not crime, bruh. It's not crime is what they want to make you believe. Oh, look what's going on in Chicago. Look what's going on in the urban areas. That's not what's going on. Number one killer of officers is officers, and that's via suicide. That's the number one killer. And you have yet to hear anyone of the Republican Party bring any type of mental health for officers, do any mandatory, checks on officers. None of that. What they want to do is, as I said before, Neanderthal mindset. White people good, black people bad. That's it. That's all they want. And it doesn't matter if their hypocrisy is glaring. And I'm so glad she brought this out. She may get fired. They may never bring her on. But it gets irritating, them talking about how much they care about officers and everything. We got videos of officers like screaming and crying because they're being crushed, right? We got videos of them, these J6er, Coup for Cocoa Puffs, fighting officers, attacking officers with flagpoles and stuff like that. Like, it's insane for them to completely overlook this, but then put an absurd amount of effort for a guy throwing a Subway sandwich at an officer. I don't know, man. You have to be in a cult, bro. You have to be in a cult for you not to see this hypocrisy, for you to ignore this hypocrisy, for you to try and do mental gymnastics to try and say, well, it's not the same thing, or it happened so long ago, or that's all you got. And I've seen all those comments, bro. I've seen all of those comments where it's like, oh, this is all they talk about, January 6th. I'm like, we have to do this. But if we were to flip this, and I brought this analogy out before, where if it was a bunch of black people who stormed the Capitol, defecated on the ground, urinated on the walls, assaulted officers, we would never hear the end of this. They would say that this was worse than the Civil War. They would try and rescind as far as the birthright citizenship for black people. They would do everything in their power. But when it comes to them, right, when it comes to the white ignorance, oh, they were just angels. You have to understand they were wrongfully persecuted. That's what was going on. It's just, I'm glad that she called them out. Okay, I'm glad they called them out because it's just, we can't live like this, bro. We can't live within the same country where people live on two different planets, where they have completely gross gaps in like logic and perspectives and an understanding of history. That I don't know what to tell you. That's the Tower of Babel. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think, whether or not you believe. Look, you sound like a lefty, okay? Those people were persecuted, all right? They were rotting in the prisons for nothing, for fighting for Trump. That's what happened. Or if you haven't believed, listen, y'all are lost, bro. Y'all are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Y'all are smooth brains. You have dedicated your life to Trump. I don't know what to tell you. But if you want to scream and holler over an officer being hit by a sandwich, but be completely silent when officers are dying, when officers were assaulted on January 6th, what are we talking about here, bro? What are we talking about? It's just nothing. Just say you dislike black people and just leave it at that, all right? Just leave it at that. I don't know what to tell you. Even though this guy was a white guy who threw the sandwich at the officer. You notice no one brought up race, right? You notice no one brought up white on white crime, even though the officer was white, the perpetrator was white. So we're on to your nonsense, okay? Anyways, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me Thursday through Saturday, Disagreement Day. Number on screen, call in and we duke it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think about this and subscribe. And that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing.
Can we just stay
But they
for
got
one?
pardoned. No, those were police officers,
I just want to
Emily,
stay,
and they got
I want to
pardoned.
talk about DC.